Hi, I'm Karen L. Williams-Tisdel, and you are watching The Courtney Hall Show.
Thank you all for watching another special edition of the Courtney Hall Show. Listen, I have an amazing guest here in the building with me. It's Karen Williams-Tisdel. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Courtney?
I'm doing well. I'm so glad that you're here. Oh my gosh, you have a book. You wrote an entire book. And you're here in my studio. I love it. This is Black excellence to the max.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Courtney. Oh, it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. You are such a doll. Oh my gosh. I mean, inside and out, you guys. I mean, awesome. You're a very awesome person.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, listen, let's get right into your book.
Sure.
Tell me about your book.
Okay. My book basically is about a young girl, okay, and it basically, the setting is set in Houston, Acres Home, that's where I'm from, and it's a young girl, the trials and tribulations that she goes through, and the consequences that she has to face because of her poor decisions, I guess you can say. It's definitely a book that we can all relate to, especially as young women. We've all made some not so good choices, you know, especially as teenagers, that kind of follow us throughout our lives. And this is just kind of a portrayal of a young girl, and it definitely gives readers some insight as to, you know, what poor choices can lead to.
What made you want to actually write the book?
You know, years ago, you know, I was listening to a sermon at church, and I remember the pastor was saying, you know, we all have gifts. We all have gifts that we definitely need to hone in on, and we should definitely be living fruitful on our gifts. And I'm an educator, so I just always thought that education was my gift. You know, I had such a good run with it, but actually I started writing as a young girl, and I just remember having all these stories in my mind, and I definitely wanted to tell all of those stories and embellish them, you know, because I am definitely, I have a very wild imagination at times, as you could say. And I just, you know, I said, you know what, I really want to write, and God is good. He gave me an opportunity to take off work for about a year or so and complete my first novel.
Wow.
And
So it took about a year to write.
It took about a year, writing, publishing. I started years ago, but I just kind of threw a couple of chapters together, a basic outline. But when I really sat down and put my mind to it, it took me about a year.
Wow. Why do you think that more or not enough African American people are writing books? Why do you think that is?
I don't think, honestly, I think they feel that it's too much of a challenge. The fear of not being able to get it right. I remember going to several book festivals and just listening to authors talk about, you know, just write, just write. You know, you can worry about you know, all the specifics later, but just write, you know. And I took that and I took it to the next level, because you don't want to just write. You want to make sure that once you write it, you go back and you put some up to it, you know, so, you know, to capture your audience's attention and write about stuff that you know. One of my former teachers from years ago, she said, you know, she told me in the beginning, write what you know. And that's what I did. I stayed true to it. You know?
What are some common myths about writing a book, putting out a book?
I think people think that if you have to be very well educated, you have to have like all these advanced degrees. People feel that, you know, what if I write and no one will read it? What if, just is that something I can dedicate enough time to get it completed? And I think completing something so intense, I guess, I don't know. I don't even know what the word to use, when it comes to completing a novel, but just thinking about the completion, because there was times where I didn't think I was going to finish, so, and just finally seeing a light at the end of the tunnel at some point, I was like, okay, I guess I can do it. And I did it. So it's just a matter of just, focusing, putting your mind to it and just getting it done.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds easier said than done,
Yeah. But it is. I mean, you do need to just focus and hone in on what you want to do and just go ahead and do it. Now, where can we purchase your book?
My book is literally on Amazon.com, Target.com.
Hold it up for everybody.
BarnesandNoble.com. I'm sorry. BarnesandNoble.com. And I'm sure there are other little smaller retailers. They're everywhere in these little small bookshops. Amazon lists them, people, because it's definitely is a global distribution. So it's pretty much everywhere you can find a book.
And where can we find you? Where can we support or find you? She's like, nowhere. Just go buy my book now.
No, I don't have at the time an actual webpage, but I am definitely on Facebook and Instagram, and it's under Karen Williams-Tisdel, and you'll find my page for my book under A Beautiful Black Butterfly.
Nice.
It's not the actual name of the book, but A Beautiful Butterfly. That is the name of the Facebook page that you will definitely find a lot of information about me, the book, my supporters, my fans, different book discussions that we've held, videos. And I have a email. You can also email me at beautifulbutterfly@gmail.com.
Nice. And you do, you have a book club as well.
I have not officially started a book club, but we have had several book discussions.
Nice.
I have been asked to a couple of book discussions, book clubs, but I personally am not involved in one, which is really sad because I am a writer.
You will be. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Now, what made you want to name your book Through the Eyes of a Black Butterfly? That's powerful in itself.
Well, thank you. I don't know.
Okay, because I'm guessing the black butterfly is the girl, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
and and on the journey of writing the book, I finally finalized the title, and I had people saying, "Well, are you sure you want to say black butterfly? You don't want to narrow down your audience and make it look like it's pertaining to a specific, race or a group of people." And I was like, "No, I'm gonna go ahead and stay true to it."
Yeah.
And I've had people of all age, race, social classes have read it and loved it.
Wow.
And they have given me such awesome reviews. It has 5 stars on Amazon. And every time I go on, I'm like, someone left another review. And, and they're just like, this is a really good read. I couldn't put it down once I got to a certain part. And I love it, so I don't know. I wanted to always stay true to my vision, and my vision was the black butterfly.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
So,
I love that.
thank you.
Now, who are some of your mentors in your life or people that you look up to?
Oh, wow. I had an educator, a teacher that from high school. Her name's Miss Greeny. I definitely a mentor. A pastor of mine years ago, when I was growing up as a kid, he was like this father figure to me. His name was Pastor Gray, and he always let me know that, Karen, you could do anything you put your mind to, because I didn't see it. My mom, of course. My mom, I would always say that, and I dedicated her into the book. She loved me the best way she knew and understood, because she was a young single mother. And she didn't always have the answers, but she definitely taught me to be the woman that I am today, to be strong, to be independent. And my grandmother, who, her tough love, she let it be known, I love you, but I need you to make sure you're strong enough to endure what the world has to offer.
Wow.
So,
wow, that's
yeah.
awesome. Listen, what would you tell your younger self if you could talk to young Karen?
I keep on moving on. You know, it took me, you can do this. It took me a minute to finally understand the person that I am. Not saying that I'm just all that, but you know, I am. But no.
I know. I was gonna say you are 5 stars on Amazon. Okay. Yes.
No, you know, it's weird. You know, I grew up and I just didn't think very highly of myself, and I had so many other people around me that surrounded me that kind of let me know that, you know, they either had this way of trying to make me feel like I wasn't going to accomplish anything in my life or whatnot, but I rose above it. There was always this voice. There was always someone that came into my life that let me know that, you know, you got something, you know, you need to keep pushing forward. I just didn't always believe it. So it took me a minute, and I finally realized, you know, you do have some things that you can do. You need to do it.
Yeah.
And I always, you know, I hear people saying, you know, oh God, I wish I could have did this. I should have did this when I was younger, because where would I be now? I honestly feel that God, you're exactly where God wants you to be.
Yes.
You know, so sometimes we have to go through those trials and tribulations and through the turmoil, you know, through that rough patch to get to where God wants us to be.
You better preach today.
I try.
You better
preach.
Quick. Yes, that's so true. And the fact that you said you are where you need to be, that's so true. Like, some people say, oh, I could have done this. Like, no, like, you are where, I mean, you could have, and you can still do it.
You
still have time to do it. Now, listen, this is a trilogy that you're, are you doing 3 books, or is it another one coming up after that? Or?
It is.
Okay.
The second one, when you read it, the epilogue at the end, it kind of gives you some insight as to what the second book is going to be about. And the second book is actually through the heart of a black butterfly.
Oh, wow.
So that, and it's actually a series. It's going to actually be 4 books. I wanted to stop it at a trilogy, but I said, you know what, I got more stuff to talk about.
Keep
so let
on going.
let me make it 4. And then, you know, God bless, I'll be producing other works of art through the other characters that are in the book as they get older.
Okay. So do you feel like you'll stop teaching to pursue just your books?
That is definitely the plan.
Okay.
That is definitely the plan. My husband knows. I'm like, you know, I want this to be my full-time venture. You know, I want to be able to do things like this, you know, spread the word about what, you know, women empowerment, not just limited it to women, you know, anyone could do anything they put their mind to. I don't care what your background is, where you came from, where you're trying to go. You can do anything you put your mind to. So I would love to tour and be on awesome shows like the Courtney Hall show and tell people just that, you know. So and I want to continue writing. I want to definitely continue telling my stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Karen, for coming
you're
on my show.
welcome.
I do have a question. So, Black Lives Matters, you know, we're hearing that a lot.
Yeah.
We're hearing Black women lives matter. You know, we're hearing all of this. What does that make you feel? And how do you put that into your books, if you even put it into your books?
Well, Black authors matter.
Boom. There you go.
Like, look, I got these shirts at home. You know, Black authors matter. We do matter. You know, I hear so much about, you know, Black empowerment. I think is very important because we can do just, if not better, than our. I don't want to say our white counterparts. There are different races of people out there, but I have received so much love from everyone. So, but our voices do matter. We can do it. You know, people said, yo, you wrote a book. And I'm like, yes, I did. You know, it's a novel. It's a very creative novel. People, you know, the way I worded things, the way I created this image, you know, people, you can't steer away from that, you know, and my work, my talents come from me reading the works of other extremely talented Black authors. You know, Zora Neale Hurston, Langston Hughes, who happens to be my favorite author, B.B. Moore Campbell, we just lost her a few years ago, Nikki Giovanni. You know, these are authors that I absolutely love and adore, and I want to make sure that I incorporated, with my style, of course, their style of writing to make something great. Because, you know, I am a future Black history maker, and that's how I'm going to always look at it.
Yes. So. Okay, so you're so interesting. Okay, I'm not gonna keep you here for long. Okay, but listen, how important is it for Black stories to be told?
Oh gosh, people need to tell them. You know, I talk about Zora Neale Hurston, and you know, she was shunned. She was always just ridiculed about how she talked about, or how she wrote about the way African Americans lived, the Black lives, you know, during her era. And she used a lot of dialect, and she used this twang, and she made, they criticized her because you're making Black people look ignorant. You're making them look a certain way. And no, if that is the way, the tone, or the way of talking, or the way of doing things during that era, people need to know.
Right. People
need to know that, you know, this is how we live. This is how, this is our era, and everyone needs to be exposed to things like that. The famous playwright, Raising the Sun, Lorraine Hansberry, you know, she got all this recognition for creating this play depicting the lives of Black people, the Black family. We struggle. We have hurts and pain. And during that civil rights era, when people, you know, were looking, oh, you know, they don't feel anything. No, we feel just as much pain as the next person. And if no one is telling these stories and shedding some light on how we live as African Americans, then no one will know.
Exactly.
And you know, and that's what I tried to do with this book. And
you're amazing. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Amazing. You're just amazing.
You.
One last question.
Sure.
So what do you feel about Ted Cruz leaving Texas, if you can speak on it, leaving Texas during, you know, the winter storms?
A friend of mine posted on Facebook, she said, "Good morning, everyone except Ted Cruz." And that's my thoughts.
Yes, I like that.
I voted for Beto. I wanted him to win so bad. When I woke up the next morning and saw that Ted Cruz was still our Texas representative, I was very disappointed.
Right.
I did not want him to win, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, good morning, everyone but Ted Cruz.
Yes, I like that. I'm gonna actually start using that. Well, thank you so much, Karen.
You're welcome,
for
and thank you
on.
so much, Courtney.
Thank you.
Absolute doll.
Yes, and go purchase Karen's
Please
book.
purchase my book.
Yes, tell them again where they can purchase it.
You can purchase Through the Eyes of a Black Butterfly at Amazon.com. It is there waiting and ready. Target.com, Barnes & Noble, BarnesandNoble.com. It is there. It is, and it's under Karen L. Williams. I wasn't married at the time, but that's
she is now.
But
hey,
I am now.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Courtney.
And thank you all for watching another special edition of The Courtney Hall Show.